Hello everyone, this is Brother Benson and I'm joined with Makobura and Miguda. Makobura, how are you doing?
Good evening. I'm doing good. I hope you're also doing good over there.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see you guys once again.
Okay, thank you so much. How about you, Mr. Miguda? Miguda, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, doing great. How about you?
We are doing good. I think like you might be having a problem with your internet because sometimes, I don't know, you are freezing or your voice is freezing. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you over on my side. I can hear
But can you hear Miguda?
you. He's
Can you hear me
somehow.
now? Am I clear? Can you hear from my end?
Yeah, okay.
I'm
So
still
how are you
busy.
doing? Yeah, so how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing good. I'm doing great. How about you people over there?
We are managing. Na leo ni Friday na kawaida unajua, siku kama ya leo kuna wale ambao wanatoka kazini wanaenda kupigia mwili pole, na pia kuna wale ambao labda watatoka kazini waende tu nyumbani, wakakae chini wapumzike, kwa sababu ni uchovu, umefanya kazi kwa siku 5. Labda Makobura, wewe uko na mpango gani?
Mambo ni mengi, lakini kwa haya yote nashukuru Mungu
Yeah.
Mola kwa vile ametushikilia na tunapambana kwa uwezo wake na tuna imani kwamba mambo yatakuwa vyema.
Okay.
Kiswahili top notch.
Yeah, nakubaliana na wewe kwamba umezungumuza kama wanaume 20. Miguda, wewe vipi?
Mimi kwa upande wangu ningesema sijafanya kazi kwa siku 5. Sisi huanza kufanya kazi Jumapili, ndiposa tunasema tumefanya kazi kwa siku 6. Sasa kesho ni siku yetu ya 7, siku ya kupumzika, na mimi niko na maoni tofauti na wengine wanaenda kupigia mwili pole, kupiga sherehe, lakini sisi ni wale tunaenda kufungua Sabato, na kesho vilevile kama kawaida katika kanisa la Bwana tunaomba hiyo siku yetu ya Sabato. Sasa mimi nasema nimefanya kazi kwa siku 6 kuanzia Jumapili mpaka leo, siku ya 6.
Okay.
Sasa kesho ni siku ya kupumzika.
Okay, asante sana. Wacha nichukue pia hii nafasi nikaribishe wale ambao wanatutazama kwa kipindi ya saizi, na tunataka tu kujua hali iko vipi, Friday yako iko aje? Unajua wenzangu, kuna jambo ambalo nimeona na mimi nawaambia, ukitaka kujua nchi ambayo iko na watu ambao wako na roho mzuri na roho safi ni wa Kenya. Juzi kuna ile story ambayo ilikuwa imetokea ya yule nyanya akawa na wajukuu wake wakaenda pale shule, na unapata kwamba alikuwa na kuku kwenda kulipia karo za shule, lakini ile jambo iligusa Wakenya wengi, lakini kwa muda mchache maajabu ilitokea na ikanipatia picha ingine tofauti na Kenya ambao sisi tunaiona. Na kuna jambo ambalo niliona, sijui kama ni pale tu kwa mtandao, niliona kiongozi fulani akasema kwamba atamfikia. Sasa nashindwa, huyu mama huyu, hakuna wakati labda alitembea kwa hizi maofisi akajaribu kuomba hawa watu mambo ya karo ya shule, mbako inafika ile wakati ambao inafika kwa mtandao na Wakenya wanajitolea mhanga, Mkenya kwa Mkenya. Eric Omondi alikuwa pale na ile kazi yake ya sisi kwa sisi, akafanya maajabu. Haya ndio kiongozi anakuja nyuma. Hiyo unaweza sema aje kuhusu Wakenya, Makobura?
to me, it is so shameful to our leaders, being that they have the capacity, and it is part of their role. It is part of what they saw while taking oath of these specific offices that they are holding.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, see the people of Kenya suffering, and especially when they are seeking for education. I mean,
Yeah.
uh, things to do with education, and education is it's a basic need for Kenyans. And it is so unfortunate that our leaders are not really making it accessible to the people of Kenya, because the people of Kenya are really suffering for them in their quest for getting better education.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see, unaweza ona vile Wakenya wanajituma. Kama huyo alikuwa ni nyanya,
Mm-hmm.
anaelewa umuhimu wa, she understands the role of education, and for that reason she decided to take whatever she had,
Mm-hmm.
and possibly take it to school, so that it is her wish that her grandchildren gets a basic need. And it is also so unfortunate that this basic need is one of the things that are, that the government, the leaders are supposed to be looking into, and they're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to ensure that it works for the citizen.
Okay.
So, what really pains me again is that after that exposure or expose, that is when you'll see leaders trying to come out, saying that they are going to assist. And the question is, how many of such parents, or how many of such young boys and girls are also, looking for, are going through the same thing? They don't
Mm-hmm.
have fees. How many parents? There are so many whom, for example, you've not seen on social media, and it is a serious thing. Imagine that is Oma Bay. So what about these other counties that had been neglected? For example, the Turkana, the Mandera, Garissa, and
Mhm.
these other counties that uh, that has not had the opportunity to get good. The government or those in leadership have not given them a good listening. So you can imagine.
Okay, thank you so much, Makobura. And there's one thing that you said. What about those who have not come to social media? Because this one does not mean it is one case. This is just like somebody took somebody had an opportunity with his phone or her phone and took the photos and posted it on the social media, and, and after posting it, it shows. And Miguda, I want you to look at the angle of Kenyans on what the Kenyans did within a short period of time, and on how they risen to the occasion, and within a period of time somebody had already paid almost like 250,000. Eric Omondi was there, and Kenyans, what does it tell you about the Kenyans themselves? Forget about their leaders, the Kenyans.
Kenyans are good people, and Kenyans
Mm,
have always been good people. Whenever there is a problem affecting one of the Kenyan people,
mhm,
it's our problem. We should take it
mhm,
as our problem, because if that child is not educated, maybe
mhm,
if you can commit any crime in future, that can affect the entire community. So it's
mhm.
better for the child to be educated so that we can recover many things which are unforeseeable. What I
Okay.
want to say is that because you understand the point you have brought home, that what about the Kenyan people?
Mhm,
But sometimes I can say it is also luck. There are some people, once they have been exposed to social media, people will
mhm.
come, and there are many people who have been made to
Okay. Uh,
live by Kenyan people. You understand, even during the, not only about education, but even during the
can you fix can you
levels
fix
of
your
domestic poverty. But
yeah,
after they have, so I just want to, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I
yeah,
think you lost me somewhere. I
yeah.
was saying
Mhm,
Kenyan people are good people, but sometimes some people have luck, because there are many people who have been exposed to social media and they have been assisted by Kenyans. Not only about education, even people who left school in class 4, people like the Gen Z Goliath,
Yeah.
the people, through that exposure, they were able to to earn a living currently, and some have been employed, some are content creator through that exposure. What I want to say is that the reason why people must come out to assist such scenario as Kenyan people, Kenyan society understand that education is the only equalizer tool to the condition of all men. Because if you take a child to school, you have closed the door of the prison. And that's why I was insisting on the issue of maybe that child could have committed certain crime that could have affected the entire people. So one, if he or she is educated, it can
Yeah.
be good for society because the child can also come back and also ensure that it transforms the society through many ways. That is very possible. Remember what happened during when Tom Mboya was lifting Kenya's United Kingdom, and we ended up with a Kenyan US president. Were it not for Tom Mboya, we could have not ended up beside people. So education is the only equalizer tool for the condition of all men, and education is fundamental. And we are urging the government as Kenyans that education should and it should remain free from kindergarten up to tertiary.
Okay, thank you so much. And Megudo, you've talked of so many projects, especially that Kenyans have risen to assist Kenyans for Kenyans. If you look at even the page of, it's called Pastor Dan Wema, go to his page. So many content creators through their pages, they've assisted so many Kenyans. But the good thing, the one issue that made the story of the grandmother very touching is, if it reaches a point, and I know and I believe that when that mother or that grandmother went for those chicken, I think she went for the best. I don't think she went for the ones that were still maybe still growing or what. Because remember, at a point whereby even there was that one that laid eggs in the process when they're still waiting there. So it tells you like this was the best, the cream, the Della cream, the wealth that she has, and she said, okay, this is what I'm going to do for
You
my
know,
community.
Brother Ben, let me just say something. In African culture,
Yeah.
if you have cows
Mm-hmm.
or whichever animal,
Yeah.
the domestic animals, normally in African culture, it has always been viewed that those, especially if it is a cow that is expectant,
Yeah.
you're not supposed to sell.
Yes.
If, for example, it is also like a
Mm-hmm.
hen,
Mm-hmm.
in that state of laying eggs, you're not supposed to sell them
Yeah.
because this one signifies blessing and continuation of
Mm-hmm.
that, a generation of that specific animal.
Yeah.
So if you see someone going to an extent of taking an hen that is still laying eggs,
Yeah.
then it really, they didn't have any other option. It was just, I can equate it to the woman, if you remember in the Bible, the
Yeah.
woman who gave all the silvers that she had,
Mm-hmm.
and she committed herself to God and said that, Lord, you know what? I'm giving everything that I have. Going forward, I don't have anything, but I've fully committed myself to you. So it has gone to that extent, and that tells you how even our grandparents still values and they know the value of education.
Mm-hmm.
And if there is a grandparent who could do that, what about the parents?
Yeah.
If parents were there, the parents for this, for these children. So it is, to me, it's such a painful thing, and it is so unfair that whenever these things are coming up, that is when you see leaders coming out and pretending that this is the first time they're meeting similar cases. But the
Yeah.
truth of the matter is, these are things, that is the state of the country. It is
Th-
that bad.
yeah, that is Makobura. The way you say it, sometimes it's not even pains. It make your heart go numb, because this is not isolated case. This tells you the reality of what is happening. And remember, this is a day school. This is a day school. and this is the reality. So when you see a leader coming up and say that, okay, I'm going to pay the school fee, don't pay the school fee. Try to come up with solutions that is going to make education affordable so that we don't go through this. Because if you pay school for only selected cases, what about other cases that will be coming in the near future, or the other cases that are also not been exposed or has not come on the social media? And I think the reason why leaders are running to to contribute and to do that, because what Kenyans have done, how long did it take them? Because it took Kenyans the shortest time possible in the history just to come out and to to salvage or to assist the situation. And now that's when you see, like the leaders sometimes, I wonder with this, like somebody, a leader somewhere going on the social media and commenting like blah blah. No, we don't need. Come up with solutions. Don't comment. What are the strategies that you're going to put in place so that families do not undergo such stressful or emotional situation? Put in place whereby education becomes affordable for everyone. Don't go on the social media to tell us how you've paid, you've sponsored this kid to high school. There are 10 of them or are millions of them. You talked about Turkana. We have so many of them there. Why can't you make that education or come up with, strategies that will ensure, that all Kenyans background of all backgrounds can access education without going through what we saw. But all in all, I want to take this opportunity to thank all Kenyans who did
Brother
amazing
Ben,
work.
before we forget, remember this is the same government who told us that in their government, if they're given the opportunity,
Mm.
they're going to ensure that there's free, what we call free education
Yeah.
system in the Republic of Kenya, starting from
Mhm.
nursery. Then they said up to high school, but they
Mm.
said that they would reduce the cost of college and
Mm.
university. So remember, these are students who are going to public school.
Mm.
They're not borders.
Okay.
And with that balance that was there, 247,000,
Yeah.
that tells you that education is the most expensive.
Mhm.
And actually, education is like a luxury in the Republic of Kenya today.
Yeah.
It is no longer something that can be afford. I mean, people can just afford, and it is so unfortunate that, those days, a long time ago, at least people had some maybe piece of land and they would sell in pursuit of their education.
Yes.
Today, there is
Mhm.
no piece of land that even people can sell to proceed with their education.
Okay.
So you find that people have lost hope,
Mm.
and as much as they've lost hope, they still trust that, things shall work out. And that's why you saw
Uh-huh.
that grandma decide to do what she did.
Okay.
And I think those are the people that during this Mashuja Day, those are the people who should be called upon, their
Why,
name be
why,
mentioned.
why should you call? Why should you call them Makobura? How
I
could you
mean,
call? Why do you have to celebrate that lady? The Kenyans have celebrated that lady by
because
giving out what they have.
no, I'm
Why?
saying in the political limelight, you do
Yeah.
see, for example, this Mashuja Day, the president, through their whatever, they do recognize some people. And to me, a woman like this one are the people who should be recognized, because
No,
they have
Makobura,
gone out of their way to ensure that their grandchildren get I mean, uh, what is
I
best
do.
for them.
If let me take this opportunity before I invite Miguda. I disagree with you on this. This is what Irene Irwari says. Politicians think about next election, but leaders think about next generation, like Traore and someone like Matiang. Yes, yeah, I agree with you. Makubura, do you know the reason why I feel like this is not somebody to be celebrated? You know, if how can you celebrate somebody that have been going through this? It means for this grandmother to come out to accumulate such money. Do you know how much stress this woman has gone through? How do you want to celebrate this person? How now do you come as a government or as a leader to celebrate that person? Kenyans have celebrated this person, the lady, by paying out school fee. That celebration is enough, because that one, it means when you're celebrating your achievement. That is the issue about celebration. Yeah. So I think like Kenyans, they've celebrated. So I because this Makobura, there are so many of them. There are so many of them. Not even one. There's so many of them that goes through this. Yeah. How many women have gone to these offices and they've been insulted, they've been banged on the table, they've been nasty words have been said to them, but they don't come out? How many of them? How many women are crying and parents are just crying, walking around just to make sure that their kids are going to school? So many of them. Yeah. So I don't think, like, because if we celebrate that, it means that the government will be taking credit, or any other government that will be there. So I think, to me, or Mako Maiguda, what do you think?
First, let me, I would like to, I like the comment of Irene Irwari. That's a very powerful comment concerning the topic we are discussing, because it is good for people to think about the next generation, not election. That was a very good one. What I wanted to say is that that woman is just a representation of many. Actually, the way you people have argued that there are many Kenyans who have worked into this office. Actually, right now, there are people who are seeking for bursaries. There are people who are on these leaders. They want them to provide them with education. Even right now, there are so many people, but it's now they haven't got opportunity to be seen by Kenyans. But this one was just like a luck, the way I told you that. Sometimes it happens with luck. So you find out that this woman, there was luck that happened to him. But taking it as an advantage that now you want to use this woman to make it look like there's something that has happened within the Kenyan context, I think that is not fair, because the woman remains a heroine in whatever circumstances.
Yeah.
And like I've told you, there are some people who haven't been celebrated by the state, but they have remained heroes and heroines in our hearts. And those are the kinds of people we are referring to this woman. Like I've given an example. There are so many people of them. Even Makobura knows them very well. Makobura sometimes met Kevo Simple Boy, and whenever he meets any celebrity, he usually briefs me that there was such and such persons. There are so many people who have just been brought to limelight by the Kenyan people, not the government. So that's why I still believe that the fact that she has been highlighted by the people, let her remain the heroine of the people, but not of the state. That one should be in order.
Or
Because
yeah.
you understand also, we understand that leaders can't assist everybody, of course. That's why I begin by saying that there are so many people. This was just a representation of the many people. But if you have make at least a mark, a landmark to this extent, then already we have celebrated you as a Kenyan. And what is fundamental is that the Kenyan people understand what is right, because they know that it is very fundamental for any child to get education, because education, even there are some people who usually outrule those who are learned, that education without money or certificate without money. But there is something that they might not know. It is very important to be educated, even if you don't have money, but education is very fundamental. And those people who are educated understand what I'm saying. That's why the Kenyan people already have demonstrated that they got that child's back by supporting that child. So I believe that is how I can explain my point, but I'm not dismissing anyone's opinion.
Yeah, we are not we are not but like I just tend to disagree with my co-host, because if we are going to celebrate only this, yeah, and maybe like we have Madaraka coming here, unajua kuna ile wakati ambapo labda mtu anaweza enda na upepo. Unajua kwa Kiswahili tunaenda umeenda na upepo, ndugu yangu, kwa sababu kuna wengi ambao labda wanapitia maisha hayo, lakini ni jambo ambalo inaweza kuwa busara kama kiongozi ni kwanza, tukiona kwamba jamii yetu hiyo ni shida ambayo imetukumba kwa muda mingi, si tuwezi sema kwamba imeanza saa hizi, ni jambo ambalo ni ya kihistoria lakini ni waweke mkakati mzuri ambapo watoto wetu, elimu inakuwa ni jambo ambalo kila mtu anaweza pata elimu hata kwa bei nafuu. Ndio maana wakifanya hivyo utapata kwamba jambo kama hili ambalo kilitokea itakuwa ni vigumu sana kutokea. Lakini kama tuseme kwamba kiongozi labda anakuja anamlipia mmoja, lakini aweki ama aleti hoja kwa bunge ambayo inaweza tatua jambo hilo, basi hapo atakuwa ametudanganya. Na mambo kama hayo, labda umeenda umetoa pesa yako kidogo, umekimbia pale mtandao wa jamii ukasema kwamba hizi ni jambo ambalo sisi, ni uongo tu, hiyo tu ni siasa. Mimi hiyo ndio kauli yangu. Ama Makubura, wewe unasemaje?
What I can say is that let the political I think we've seen this kind of we've seen so many instances where people are struggling to get the right education and they go overboard. Some of them do, they sacrifice to an extent that they do it like they're doing their best, and it's been so traumatizing to them that in a country that has leadership, and in this generation, I don't think it is right that the people of Kenya would struggle to get education in this manner. President Kibaki did a good thing, and he had started transformation of the education sector. My wish should be that the generation and the politicians and the leaders who are coming in should then move ahead and do something positive about it. It is so unfortunate that as we are going, as years are coming, instead of us making and coming up with ways of reducing the cost of education, instead what we are doing and what the government is doing is they are making it more hard. They are making it more expensive, and it is becoming too hard for people to afford. And that is why we are going to have so many people who are not learned. Kenya is one of the countries that has so many learned people in Africa. And if we continue with these governments who are increasing the cost of education, there's a possibility of Kenya going to, going to lose a lot. And the number of people would not have the requisite education would be so high, and it's going to be a threat to our nation. Remember, the youths are the driving force because they provide a lot of labor for our country, and the country fully depends on the labor from the youth for it to grow. Any country that is focused on growth, any country that is fleeing away from poverty, it has to empower the youths. Empowering the youths starts with first empowering them educationally, because that is the first step for every country that is focused and gearing up towards getting out of the poverty index bracket.
Okay, Makobura and Miguda, thank you so much for the contribution on what was reflected in our society, and that is something that we need to remind our leaders that they should do best. They should do best. That was just isolated case among many. So there are so many of them who go to Turkana. You've mentioned Turkana in so many areas. There's so many cases of that, but all in all, Makobura, we have to thank Kenyans because they've showed us, or they've always risen to occasion and proven everybody wrong that Kenyans are united because everybody who contributed, they did not look at what tribe are they coming from, what region, what background, but they decided that this is a Kenya issue and this is a Kenyan for Kenya, and they did it without, and that is what we want, rather than what we usually see on the political field. Anyway, we want to go into the politics, my good brothers. Yesterday, as you know very well, that His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua launched his party, and as you know, a political process usually starts at some point, and discussion will always take place. And the question now is, will the politics or the new party of Rigathi Gachagua change the politics of Mount Kenya? Because it is the party that has his roots and leadership that comes from Mount Kenya. It is there's no difference with other political parties. If you look at the characteristics of the political party, they have their colors, they also have their honors, But we are looking at, will it change the political landscape of Mount Kenya? That is one. Secondly, will it have the migration? Because remember, when UDA came, UDA had 100% migration from Jubilee to UDA. Are we going to see the same thing that is there? And also now, because we also have the Jubilee, with Jubilee has confronted Matiang'i, and we have Rigathi Gachagua, and you know very well that the Jubilee is Uhuru Kenyatta, former president, is behind it. How is this one going to go? Because yesterday I asked that question, and today also I saw somewhere people are having that discussion, and they were saying this is going to give the president a easy way to win, because it will take time for the Jubilee members, or the people who are allied to Jubilee, to cross over to Rigathi Gachagua. Maybe because of the leadership of Rigathi Gachagua, some people are not very, very much happy with the leadership of Rigathi Gachagua, and that one will cause divisions. And if you look at Gachagua too, he's looking at consolidating the mountain, whereby he wants to become the de facto leader, whereby he's the only person who calls the shots and say, who are we going to elect? So those are some of the things that we want to look at, Makobura and Miguda. So let us start with you, Makobura. Do you think, or do you see any road or any path that there is going to be a massive a migration from UDA, especially to the new party, or is going to be mass migration from that party to the Jubilee? Because those are now the main parties in central Kenya.
Okay, thank you. What I can say is that, of course, we will see a mass movement from UDA to the new party, the DCP.
Yeah.
But I think there's still time, because we would have started seeing this. We saw the likes of Senator Methu attending this, but remember, he was not even given any position, or he was not even wearing anything that was symbolic that he was part and parcel of this new party. So that, I think, clarifies the fact that they are still within UDA, and the contract that they had with UDA is still intact.
Yeah.
And of course, should they decide to leave UDA now, it is going to come with repercussions, and those repercussions are very clear. One, either their seat can be declared vacant, so that a by-election can be conducted. And I'm quite sure that there is no any politician who would want to go that way at this particular time, because remember, any election that people are going through, you have to have planned for it, you have to have the finance, and they are not really, I'm quite sure they're not ready for that. So for that reason, the likes of Methu and those supporting the impeached deputy president will continue being in UDA, but then at the right time, when the repercussions or the would be less, then they would find it easy for them to move from UDA to the new party. But again, that is also going to depend. I know the likes of Senator Methu have made the decision because they have worked with the former deputy president, but they are still tied by the contract that they have with the UDA. One of the questions that you've asked is, are along the way, are we going to see mass, I mean, a good number of leaders leaving from the UDA to this new party? Yeah, there's that possibility. And that will actually happen towards the end of President Ruto's term. That is when the constitution would guarantees or give a leeway to any person who has a contrary opinion, especially those within UDA, to easily shift to the new party. Uh, those that we are going to see coming to the new party are those who are currently not in elective positions. Just like I've explained, them moving at this particular time will come with so many repercussions, and I don't think they have prepared with money for campaigns, for by elections, and those kind of things. And again, remember, politicians do not want to go that direction, so most of time wengi wao hatataka atoke saizi warudishwe kwa uwanja na labda anaweza shindwa. So I don't think that is they can try do such kind of betting at this particular time. So they would be still intact within UDA, but of course there are the likes of Methi, just like I've mentioned, the senator of Kiambu, among others. They are within the support of the former deputy president. But of course, you will see those mass movement come towards the final term of the president.
Okay, thank you so much. So in short or in brief, you are saying that right now we cannot see that massive movement to the new party. Thank you so much. And Miguda, also I want also to get your comment on view on that mass movement, because you've mentioned, sir, the Honorable Methu, and the rest, the actually the sitting members of parliament yesterday, if you're very keen enough, yeah, that is something that I also picked yesterday. I forgot to talk about it. They were not in the new party colors. Did you realize that? So maybe Miguda, if you can, you can weigh your thought on that. The massive, if you're going to see the massive movement from UDA to the new party, and the pictures that was seen, whereby the members, the current members of parliament who are elected by the UDA, did not don or did not put wear the caps of the new party.
Even the party leader himself was not on the green outfit.
Yeah.
So even other people joined the party leader. What I want to say is that I believe that there is going to be a massive exodus from UDA to the DCP in Mount Kenya region, because in the previous election, the UDA was the main consequence for William Ruto was the central Kenya former province, and the UDA had majority of elected leaders from that region. But whenever there was a launch of the DCP yesterday, yes, the members of the DCP are former UDA members. So it means the number has reduced significantly from the UDA. Now they are trying to migrate to the DCP. That alone is a clear indication that the UDA is going to lose some of its members in the Mount Kenya region, because even the party leader of the DCP was a former member of the UDA. Even the senators we have just mentioned, the Kiambu Senator Tangwa and the Methu, those were the UDA members. Even this girl from Laikipia, Kate Waruguru, those are the people who are firebrands in Kenya as the UDA members. And we have now seen them now in the DCP. It means that UDA is going to lose most of members in the Mount Kenya region, and the DCP is going to gain majority of the members in the Mount Kenya region. Unlike Jubilee, Jubilee is in the picture, but Jubilee is not doing a registration anymore. Jubilee is mobilizing. They're just with the only at the SG. But remember, that Jubilee was beaten by UDA on Kenya. And right now, you are seeing significant membership rising of the DCP, not Jubilee. It means now the new darling in town is the DCP, not Jubilee. Jubilee was beaten previously with the UDA. And right now, we can say that the party that has tried to at least get some new members
Mhm.
is the DCP, because no one has declared that he has defected from UDA to Jubilee.
Mhm.
People are now defecting from UDA to the DCP. That's
Mhm.
why I believe that is that rising of membership of the DCP, and UDA is going to lose significantly in Mount Kenya because the people who are building DCP are members of the UDA. And now, because you understand the tribal-based politics of the country and the way people also want their regional parties to rise, there's likely that UDA is going to remain a challenging party. And we have had rumors like even I don't want to dismiss Jubilee or the JB Muturi's party or the Chama cha Kazi party.
Mhm.
They have to exist, but remember there's always one stronger party in the region. Even in the Luo Nyanza, we have parties. We have the DGM
Yeah.
of David Ochieng, the lawmaker of Ugenya constituency, which actually sponsored him to parliament. We have the UGM of Agostino Neto, the former MP for Deva constituency. We have the PDP for the former Migori governor. So these political parties have existed in the region, but
Yeah.
you find out that ODM is still the strongest party in Luo Nyanza. So it doesn't matter whether there's Jubilee, Chama cha Kazi, JB Mpri's party, Karua's party, but we are saying in the current formation, if
Mhm.
people have defected from like UDA used to be the strongest party in Mount Kenya right
Yeah.
now, but
Mhm.
people are defecting from strongest party to the new party. It means now this new party is going to have more members compared to the current existing party, because we have not seen people from UDA moving to Jubilee, to Karua Party, to Chama cha Kazi, to JB Mpri's party. That's why I still believe that it is uh, it is a work in progress, and we are yet to see many things that will unfold in Mount Kenya.
Okay, before I engage Makobura, there's an issue that I want to engage you, and this is issue to do with the legal issue, and maybe if you can assist us understand. We know very well that Rigathi resigned as a member of UDA. That is one. Secondly, also we know the Supreme Court made a ruling on the impeachment process, especially the empanelment of the bench and the panelment of the bench. And now when the let's say like the case proceeds and is proceeding at a point whereby Rigathi is no longer a deputy party leader of UDA. Yeah. Can you paint for us a picture, just in case, in terms of law, if the law will fall on Gashagua's side, to say that Gashagwa, you are the deputy president, yet he has resigned from the party that is ruling. How will that one be handled lawfully? Because I know lawfully he can, but factually he cannot.
I will discuss that issue, Makobura, when you are already you left, and
Yeah.
I think I discussed it comprehensively. But just let me just comment, just give my brief comment.
Mhm.
Currently, the legitimate deputy president, Rigathi, lawfully, and Gachagua was impeached through political process.
Mhm.
But the court has also granted Gachagua rights that there were different things. There was that court order from Kerugoya, panel of the judges, and also the decision of the judges. So you must distinct those three factors. But the
Mhm.
question at stake was that the bench was unconstitutionally constituted by the DCJ. Because that is what is at stake, we are waiting to hear the fate of that bench at the Supreme Court, because that is the apex court which will have the conclusive determination of the case. What I wanted to say is that right now it has been overtaken by events, and the ruling was clear that the reason why Kindiki was allowed or charged to be sworn in is because there was the question of the public interest and the Kenyan context that the Kenyan within the framework of the constitution cannot wait for a deputy president. There's time frame for a deputy president that we must have a deputy president because anything can happen to the president. He can die, he can resign, he can be impeached. What next? We must have the deputy president standby. That was why they had to proceed the swearing in of Kibaki. The only route for Gachagua to come back to be the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya is through the constitutional process. And the constitutional process is either we impeach Kibaki and bring him back, or we go for election and we elect him, the president and the deputy. There is no route that now court is going to dismiss Kibaki and bring in Gachagua. Gachagua can only come back to the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya through the constitutional process. That is what we discussed previously.
Okay, thank you so much, because that is something that it's quite much not very easy to understand, especially when it comes to legal issue. He has resigned, and there's court pronouncement too. So okay, thank you so much, Mr. Miguda. Makobura, I want also to engage you, especially when you look at Rigathi Gachagua political life. He was one-term member of parliament, especially he went one term as a member of parliament for Madeira. Then from Madeira, he risen the rank to hold the highest office in the land, the second in command, which sometimes it takes years and years for some politicians to rise to the rank where Rigathi Gachagua is, or Rigathi Gachagua was. Then he's the first again to go in the history of the books to be impeached under the new constitution. So, and something that I would want to let us know, what could have come in his mind and telling, okay, this is why I want to form this political party. Was it because he was impeached, or there was a reason behind it apart from impeachment?
Okay, first I want to say here that Rigathi Gachagua is one of those politicians or individuals wenye I would say ni wale ambao wanajituma politically, just got into politics not so long ago, but while serving as a member of parliament, he mastered how politics is played, and within no time he played it he played it well, and that probably might have given him might have raised his standard of politics. And for that reason, the president Ruto, while he was serving as the deputy president and he was eyeing for presidency, was looking for someone who would then, assist him in clinching to presidency. He thought it wise that Gachagua would help him. And some of the reasons which made Gachagua to be spotted among the many politicians is how he played his politics. Remember, Gachagua is one politician who will always say it the way it is, and that shows what we call courage. And courage in a leader is one very important thing, and not just courage. Is a politician who speak about something and stand by it, and he'll not. I mean, he'll maintain it no matter what. So those are some characters which we find in very few people. And the other day, if you remember, we were talking about Kalonzo Musyoka, and the reason why he still has a long way to go. Part of the problems that we mentioned Kalonzo had for example, is not that politician who say something and stand with it, and he'll not, uh, he'll not attack when needed. And what I can say again that so those are some of the reasons that made Gachagua to be spotted, and probably that. Remember, he helped the president to achieve to get to presidency, and that again clarifies or explains the fact that he was up to the task. And again, if we try to compare his political life or his political movements together with the political movements or life of the current president, they are almost similar, because there are these people who they're adliners. They will, when they're told to attack, they will always attack without thinking twice. And the question that you asked about him, the possibilities that he has, I can say that he has the possibilities. There are possibilities that he can still manage to further his political interest, depending again on how consistent he's going to do it and the kind of people, political friends that he's going to come up with, because that would also um, help him in terms of marketing in other regions apart from the Mount Kenya region. I've seen a comment here from Kibogong saying that I'm not objective. That he can cheat his intelligence, that Gashagwa is better than Karua. I didn't. I don't think there's. I was comparing Gashagwa to Karua. I don't think I did that. I was giving a general view on what I think about the individual,
Okay.
Honorable Gashagwa. I was not saying. I wasn't doing any comparison between Gashagwa and Karua. Douglas, if you are following, there's a possibility that you'd have gotten the answer. I mean, the question that I was asked by Brother Benson, and that is what I was answering. I was not doing any comparison between Gashagwa and Karua.
Okay. Okay, thank you, and welcome Douglas Kibogong for your conversation on the chat section. Miguda, I want to know your take, because when you listen to Rigathi Gachagua was talking of a political party that will champion the interest of the Mount Kenya people, or a political party that originates from the region, and that's okay, because like if you look at our political landscape, each and every region, we talked about that yesterday, have their own strongest political party. But now you ask yourself, there are so many political parties in the region. Let's say we have the DP, we have the Farmers Party, we have the Jubilee itself. We have, I think, also Girishi also, I think, has her own party. She vied on another party, if I'm not wrong. But if they wanted to champion, or if he had that vision to champion actually the interest and where they can have a bargaining power, was it a must that you have to form a political party? Yet there are several political parties that are around that you can join, because they're coming from the region, and you can champion the same issues that you're articulating, be it one term, be it everything. Why was it for him to form a political party? Migoda, do you get me? Okay, Makubura, maybe for you can come in, because
okay, I'm getting you very clearly.
Okay.
I was saying that you have asked me that question about why can't they just align themselves with the one political party which is in existence, rather than coming up with a new political party. I just wanted to say that the reason why it's very important for them to have that new political party is because the history of the Republic of Kenya, and also how people have captured power before, is very important, because you understand that even the same Mount Kenya you are talking about, Uhuru used two different parties within his 10 years. He was the party leader of the TNA, which merged with URP and the former government. In 2017, he has to change to Jubilee to seek re-election. Exactly the same, used twice. He was using NAC coalition, then 2007 he used the Party of National Unity.
Yeah.
And even William Ruto saw it was that for him to go to the 2020 election, he need an outfit that is new, that the UDA. And it has been that way. And even Raila has been using coalition. After 2007 ODM, Pentagon, Use the code coalition 2017 use NASA, 2022 use Azimio. And all of them, like we have told you that in 2027, there's likely to we have an information, either coalition from ODM and UDA, and also the other people must come with another formation. So it is always good, even though we have, you understand, even in the Kalenjin nation, there was KANU, there was Chama cha Mashinani, Baruto asked to look for the UDA. And even that is important that the central people, for so many political parties we have mentioned, but it's very important for Rigathi Gachagua to have his own political party. And yesterday, during your submission, you stated very clearly that there are some benefits that come with the political party. It is like exchequer from the government, like you are having the elected leaders from your party. There are some counties you can manage. Even you can influence legislation in parliament because you have the members of the political party in the parliament. You can have positions like the minority leader, the public account committee chairperson, or the budget chair, because you have the political party and the members in parliament. That's why it was very easy for Raila to be given positions like no one's in the National Assembly because of the people and the political party strength of the members. That's why when we are going forward, we cannot rely on the party that are currently in existence. And we understand that the history of the country has also demonstrated to us that whenever we are going for a new election, we must have a different outfit. And even yesterday, you also talked about the issue of why is it that Gachagua was talking about good governance, inclusivity, unity, as if these things are not in existence. He was just trying to rebrand the DCP. But we understand that there's this issue of shareholding from Gachagua himself. He has been the champion for shareholding, but they is championing for the unity of the country. That is a clear indication that the new political party is very important because it is going to resonate with the electorate at that particular time of that election.
Okay, thank you so much. And you talk of new party, and if you look at on how we've always, especially in our political field, especially I think ODM is the only party that have stood test of time for almost 20 years, but have other political parties have always fade away after some period of time, maybe because ODM has not clinched the presidency. And maybe that could be the case because we've seen all the political parties that have been given opportunity by Kenyans to rule or to produce the presidency. Immediately their term ends, the political parties also tend to end with their presidency. So I think the political parties usually carry with them the personality behind them. So once that personality become inactive in politics, they might also be coming inactive too. But now there's also in this political party, and we maybe Makobura, if you share with us, because it has always been a challenge, especially in the new political parties, especially the ones that are formed, like the one that we have, like Rigathi Gachagua. In the initial stages, it's usually so much hype and so many people are into it, but immediately we start the grassroots elections. That's where the test of time, the disagreement, and the calling of names and all other complaints usually comes out. And this one usually divides the party. People will run to other parties. We've seen them. Uh, How do you think Rigathi Gachagua is going to manage this, especially in where it has its original, the Mulima, and to the rest of the counties that we have?
Yeah, okay. So allow me to acknowledge the presence of Mike Onyango. He's watching us on Facebook. Thank you so much, Mike, for finding time to be with us this evening. And maybe to remind our viewers, especially those who are watching, if you're watching for the first time, kindly like and subscribe to the channel because if you do so, it is a way of supporting us and we'll really appreciate. And also, before I get into that, Douglas is saying, one time Gachagua was tribal, nowadays Gachagua is a saint. I don't know who is saying Gachagua is a saint. Douglas, Maybe you can expound on that. Yeah. So back to your question, the reason why we've always seen political parties having problem with their members is when there's what we call greed in those particular parties, when there are when there are so many things which are not done with integrity. For example, the problems that we do see in ODM or UDA, they are caused by the top leadership not listening to the people who wants to get into these parties, and again, those who wants to vie using these particular party tickets. Some of them normally they are we've not seen uh, what we call truthfulness when it comes to the people who are being given these particular tickets to go and fight for those political positions. So when we'll get to a point where we'll have political parties which are fully respecting the views of the people, which are not taking parts, which are doing party primaries with a lot of care, I mean, with a lot of genuine concerns and listening to the people, we will not see people fighting for those tickets. But when you get to an extent where the tickets will be bought, then there's a possibility of seeing people fight within these political parties. There's a
Makobura,
possibility.
Makobura, I want you to, because I agree with you. There's the party nomination and there's grassroots. The grassroots is where you get the officials. So when you look at that, we've always seen it's usually been a chaotic in majority of the political parties, because you find the people who are in the grassroots, especially the people who will be, some of them will come out to be the delegates, and the people who are elected tend to make sure that those who are going to have the delegate card are the members, very loyal members to them, so that when they come to especially the elections, they get the higher hand instead of talking about certificates. So how is Rigathi Gachagua going to deal with the delegates grassroots election, especially in central Kenya and other parts of the country? And what is he going to overcome the challenges that other parties that have been formed have
I
gone through?
I was actually added there. I just wanted to
Okay.
bring the story and the issue why we've always seen conflict within the political parties.
Okay, thank you
Yes.
so much,
So
brother.
uh, Rigathi Gachagua has a lot to do in his party. For it to be seen like a party that respects the view, a party that is going to be respected in the entire country. Just like you've mentioned, we've had problems in the Republic of Kenya with political parties when it comes to the grassroots elections where party delegates are being elected. You find that sometimes there are always members who are preferred by the parties or close allies of the party. And if he can get to a point where he's going to dismantle that cartelism, those kind of people who do make the final decisions on people to be given the party tickets and also the delegates, if you can manage to make it a free and fair election and selection whereby everyone, so long as it is someone that is sponsored by the people, or so long as it's a leader who is loved by the people and presented by the people, they are given what we call a fair ground to compete amongst each other and let the best come out. If you can manage to do that, then I can tell you the party would actually play in a higher league, and it would be one of those parties that so many people would want to be part of. But if he fails to do that, because we've seen it in ODM, we've seen it in UDA. The other day, you saw people fighting in grassroots elections within the ODM support base, and they're fighting because they want to send delegates who would then make final decisions that would favor close allies of the political party leaders. And that is the problem within the political party. So if he can maneuver and come up with ways of giving better opportunities, fair opportunities to those people who are interested in this political, to this both delegates and those who are going to be given tickets, then it would be good to go. That is my
Okay.
take.
Okay, thank you so much. And that is going to be one, like one of the challenges, especially that the political parties face, especially the newly formed political parties. One is about the issue of grassroots election. That's where, because the interests are there, First of all, the biggest interest is that this is a new political party, especially in regions where it will be having is what you call the bedrock of that political party. Because you know very well that if I get the nomination certificate, I will win the seat. So one of the things that most of the people do is that to make sure that those who are given the grassroots offices, those who are holding those grassroots offices are people that are closer to you, and that one can facilitate you being elected or you getting the certificates of nomination. And then again, when it comes to nomination, is also going to be one of the great challenge, especially for him, because remember now, I would say that Rigathi now has now entered into Kenyan politics. Now he's in the play, because on the two occasions and the position he has held, that is the one-term member of parliament for Madeira, and in 2 years of holding deputy president office, he was serving under a political party that he did not have a major control of. And he was not playing the national politics. Instead of in terms of negotiation, he was not involved in it. But now, coming with this political party, now he has been ushered in into the Kenyan politics, where negotiation will always take place, where betrayal and interest and compromising, what should I do for me to see that all my interests are catered for? So maybe Miguda, also you can share with us, how do you think now, being that is now ushered into the politics, because now he's in the league, even though in terms of experience, you might not compare his experience of him with Raila Odinga, Ruto, Musalia Mudavadi, and Moses Wetangula. These are people who have had their parties and they've negotiated and they've played about the politics of Kenya. But now he's in that league with less experience. How is he going to navigate that? And also when it comes to the party nomination and grassroots elections, Migoda.
The way we say that there's a new kid in the block, and you just have to adjust with the political occurrences of the country, because there are many things that must play. What Mark has talked about, the issue of nominations, the issue of grassroots elections, and also it will also talk about the issue of power, how they are going to capture power, formations, coalitions. He is now among the people who are going to play the 2027 elections, even if he's not going to be on the ballot, even if he's not going to play second field, but his party and the people. Because when you have a political party and the followers, that you have the people, you can be put in the table of negotiation and you can be given some slot to be in the ministry. So he has come and joined the big boys. That's why we are saying this is politics. You should not put it too much into your heart, because you might find out that when Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto can work in 2027. They can even make some jobs that we only part ways for him to go and organize his people. Now he has come with their vehicle. Let us not forge ahead to conclude this job. It is very much possible. In politics, it's a game of possibilities. Anything is possible in politics. And to answer your question, I think now he stand a chance to engage other political parties whenever they are going to have any negotiation or any formation. It's going to be part and parcel of the people, either in opposition or in government. And because the new party has got some challenges, it must also come with it. It must also be ready to face those challenges, because he has joined politics. He's a politician. Whatever comes, you just have to admit as a politician. And what he wanted to say is that what he wanted to say is that what he wanted to say is that just like other politicians. I just believe that all of these people are the same, because whenever they're having a new political party or a new entity, they try to appear to the public as angels from above. It's like their past have been erased by the dumping of the previous party. Whenever they are in a new outlook, it's just like they're beginning politics that day. Like today is just like Gachagua. It's beginning his politics yesterday. Gachagua has been in politics for a long time, and he has also committed many wrongs. So I think that's how the politics works, the perception of the people.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Migoda. And I can see HFG at the comment section. HFG, if you're visiting us here for the first time, kindly like and subscribe to our channel. Because if you do so, it is a way of supporting us, and we'll really appreciate. Douglas here is saying that, but nowadays there's a way to compete as an independent candidate. Lazy people continue to blame political parties, nomination, ticket. Yeah, of course, there's always that option, but remember, coming with an independent ticket is not, as much as it is easy for individuals, it did not come with so many benefits. Even in the National Assembly, there are so many committees that you may not get a chance to be part of just because you are independent. And so you will be forced to align yourself with a specific party that you think you have similar ideas with. And yeah, there's always that option, but of course, there's also an option of going with the party ticket. But of course, that all depends with the relationship that the leaders have with the people. We've seen members of parliament being elected on a independent ticket. Maybe Miguel, I'll give you a chance to clarify what are the benefits of coming with the independent or not independent. And then I'll also give you a chance to give your view on I saw the son of the late member of parliament from Kasipul, Honorable Were. He has also declared that he's going to vie for that particular seat and is going to continue with his father's, legacy. I'll give you a chance to give your view on those two, and then we'll close. HFG saying Gachagua jui siasa, ile anajua ni mdomo na kuongea kwingi bila kufikiria nini baadaye. Okay, that is nice. Thank you for giving us your opinion. Here we say that your opinion counts. And HFG, if you are always available, we can always share with you the link so that you can also join the studio and also give us your take. And any other person who is also willing, we can always share the link and you join, you give us your take as well. Mr. Miguda, what is your comment on where is son going for that seat? And also you can clarify to Douglas about what he has asked, the benefits of coming with an independent vis-a-vis going with the party ticket.
I don't know the importance of coming with independence, but I just like to urge all politicians to try to have a political party. Most of the people are going to the August House to legislate. It is very crucial for you to be sponsored with a political party, because if you reach the National Assembly or the Senate, there is always those seats which are reserved for the majority party and the minority party. You can be given those seats. Other than those seats, there is no independent member of parliament does not sit in any committee, does not belong to any committee in parliament, because those committees belong to the political parties. So if you not have any political party that has sponsored you to parliament, you are likely to miss to be even a member of a committee. And you understand the way it is very crucial for you to be member of the committee. Maybe you can be a member of the committee of budget or defense or transport. It's very crucial because at least you can, during the allocation of resources, because parliament is the body that makes budget, whenever they're discussing to allocate the resources, you can add some of the resources into your constituency, be it electricity, be it roads, be it dispensary. But if you are an independent candidate, you don't even sit in any committee, there is no party that has sponsored parliament, you are likely to miss a lot. You are only going to carry the kitty for the CDF, NGCDF, and maybe allowances and your salary. But most of the things that can come to your constituency from the national government, you are likely to miss. And it's very important for you to be sponsored by political parties. That's why you understand people tend to fight for these political parties. Not that people don't have money to campaign for independent. You can even, there have been independent members of parliament, but once we go for re-elections, they tend to engage political parties so that they can be re-elected under a certain political party because it comes with a lot of benefits, most of for the National Assembly and the Senate. We have talked about the issue of the by-election, which is going to come in Asepol. And we have said that because, like me, I was of the opinion that Ongondo Were was serving as the Kasipul lawmaker. And unfortunately, we have lost him in a cold blood, whereby he was slain. In my view, if the family has made a decision to front one of the son to contest for that seat, I'll just allow them to proceed with their dad's. That's how you can even sympathize the family, because that was their dad mandate to carry out tax for the Kasipul people, and let them just allow the son to finish what the dad had in mind, so that when we come for 2027 election, now we can front everybody. But we are not dismissing all the aspirants. If anyone can come and contest, because the law does not bar anybody from testing, they can contest. But just like an outsider, I prefer that let us just allow the son to continue the legacy of the dad for these remaining 3 years or 2 years, so that when we come for the next election of 2027, we can have what we call, we can include everybody. But you understand also, the Kasipul constituency was an ODM zone, and the lawmaker was a member of the ODM. But the ODM people, in their own wisdom, has decided to give the direct ticket to the son. And you understand they are going to back him fully as a party. And I don't see anyone who can go and defeat that son, just like what they did to Moses Kajwang. When Otino Kajwang died, they gave Moses Kajwang a ticket and they ensured that they assist Moses Kajwang to campaign. We have seen many by-elections. The only by-election where ODM failed was the Msambweni one. But I don't believe Kasipul they are going to do so. Other than supporting the ODM and also the dad and the family, Boyd Were is just like it's a youth like me. It's a young person, and as a young person, I have a duty to also support my fellow young person. There's no way I will oppose him. If I could be a resident of Kasipul, I could have voted for him because that is my fellow youth, and I want more youth in parliament. Therefore, if that opportunity has prevailed itself for a young person to go to the legislation, let us all support him and let us not contest with him. Allow the young people also to have a representation into the parliament. Makubura, back to you.
There's a comment there from Masili TV. I don't know whether you can give your view on that, or we just proceed. Yeah. So once you have something to say.
I can just say I was saying that is my own opinion based on my own analysis, because I said other than I talk other than ODM, other than the family, other than whatever happened to them. Boyd Were is a young person just like me. And if there is a young person contesting for that seat for the Kasipul, and we have also old men or the Gen X, I got no reason to support a Gen X and there's a Gen Z contesting for that seat, because I want more Gen Z in parliament. Therefore, I just not look at the fact that is an Ongondowere son, or the ODM must confront him. I look at the age whereby we want many young people to be in governance. That's why I can advocate for the young person to go to the legislation assembly so that we can have more numbers, because we have said we are going to replace these people. But if an opportunity has presented itself for us to replace one old person, there's nothing wrong with us replacing that lawmaker with the young person, even if it's the son. But I also understand what Asili TV is saying, because there's this issue. We, the people, we have opposed that. We don't want this issue of hereditary, whereby it must come from one family. That one we are opposed to, because we understand what is happening. That if someone has died, they are likely to bring the wife, the son. So it's like it's for the family. That one is also wrong, and that is why there's that faction. Because you understand, in the Luo politics, they are trying to tell us that there must be someone must succeed someone. If it is from Odinga, must come from Jaramogi to Raila, now from Raila to somebody from Odinga family, as if there are no other Kenyan people. That one I understand very well, and we are getting rid of that politics. But what I wanted to say is that my support for Boyd Were is based on the fact that the age of the young person, because those contestants, most of the people who have come out to contest, are older people. And if I got an opportunity to elect any young person, I can't miss that opportunity.
Okay, thank you. I think you've given your view on that to our viewers. Once again, this is Brother Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. If you're watching us for the first time, kindly like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll really appreciate. And I think now we've gotten to the tail end. And Miguda, I don't know if you have your final remarks, or I just close.
I'd just like to appreciate our viewers who have come to the comment section and also engage us in the comment section. The people who have engaged us, at least we have different opinion. It's good for us to have different opinion, not to have the same. That is a very good discussion. See you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Okay, thank you. I'll also take this opportunity to appreciate everyone who joined us today. We really appreciate the fact that you took your time to be with us. We don't take it for granted. And we request you to join us again tomorrow as we proceed with this kind of conversations. If you're new, kindly like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll really appreciate. I want to take this opportunity to wish you all a blessed night, blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening from wherever you're watching us. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. See you again tomorrow.